Hey now, welcome. This is the Long Island Metro Cup preview show. Duke against Penn, two top 10 teams. I'm Booker Corrigan alongside Towson Lacrosse Hall of Famer Ron Klausner. Ronnie, big matchup. It's going to be exciting. Let's look at the teams and what jumps out at you as far as Penn and their skill set.
Well, what I like, obviously, everything starts up top. And if you're talking about Sam Hanley, he's the one who's controlling the ball. He's dodging, he's creating. What I liked about him in the game that he just played this weekend against Georgetown was his vision. He really is drawing guys to him. He's dishing the ball extremely well, giving his teammates opportunities. And if he plays well, they got a chance. It'll
be interesting to see now, transition-wise. Penn, they like to get up and down the field, but did they against Georgetown in game one?
They did not. What I did like about them is that they packed it in on defense, but when you pack it in a lot, you're not moving your men out to cover guys up top. You're not creating some of those breaks or some of those loft passes, good outlets. So I didn't see it against them. I know that they do have the ability to do that, so we're hoping. We're also hoping that BJ Farrar can be able to create some offensive opportunities, create Duke to slide early, and maybe get some goals on transition.
We talk about that transition from Penn. Is it part of the fact that the Ivy Leagues shut down for too long?
Well, remember, they've played one game, which was last weekend, and the last game before that was in March of 2020. I know they played a couple of scrimmages last year, but really this is going to be a huge profile game that they're having. It's at a neutral site, and I think that we're still, the jury's out on Penn. Are they as good as what we think they can be? Let's see.
And defensively, you talked about them packing it in. Is that going to help them generate some bad shots or shots you want the opponent to take?
Yes, they're gonna have to, because the size of Duke's attack with O'Neal and Dyson Williams, they're just big 220-pound kids. They're hard to move, so you got to pack it in. And Dyson Williams is crafty. He's a Canadian kid who can catch it and deposit it in the goal quite easily. So you got to stay on him. So packing it in will give him less opportunities, but he still will get his opportunities.
Let's jump to Duke. 6-1. They lost to Jacksonville. They probably learned a valuable lesson there. But their experience this year, they've got a lot of minutes played. How's that going to help them?
Well, early in the season, it helps the team gel a little bit better as far as offensively, defensively, all the things, the calls. You're talking to people that you've had as teammates for a long time. Now, again, with the older players that they have a lot of minutes for their star players. When you look right down the line of their roster, who's putting the ball in the back of the net, except for a guy like maybe McAdory and Brennan O'Neal that haven't been there as long. Everyone else is, graduate student, fifth-year seniors, which...
Sixth-year seniors.
Sixth-year seniors. Makes it a lot easier to transition to that. Plus, this will be their 7th game this year. And again, we're talking about Penn's, this is their 2nd game in the past 2 years.
Yeah. Let's talk about face-offs. Advantage, Duke.
Huge advantage, Duke. I really, Jake Nassau, I love him as a player. I liked him when he was playing club ball. I loved him when he was in high school. He's a face-off kid who can win. He's very gritty, but he also has the offensive skills. When he comes down on the offense end, he can put it in the back of the net, which is not a unique skill set for a face-off man. You would love your face-off man who can score, but if you look at Jake, he can put it in the back of the net if he gets that opportunity.
And it'll be interesting. They put Nakai Montgomery on the wings. That creates opportunity.
Speed.
Last thing about Duke, control the tempo. That doesn't mean slow it down. That means control. You might want to slow it down or just balance your attacks at the cage. How can they do that?
Well, one of the things that I think that Duke needs to do is they need to play their style of play, not worry about what Penn's going to throw at them, whether it's zone defense, whether it's anything else, whether they're going to pack it in, whether they're going to pressure. I know that they're going to try to get Duke to take bad angle shots and then maybe rush things. I feel like what's going to happen is Duke's movement off ball, their craftiness with their stick work, and again, the amount of guns that can come at you is just going to be a little bit too much.
And their short stick D middies can score. When we come back, we're going to talk about different aspects of the game, some offensive players to watch, and some game changers. Don't go anywhere.
Fuel your grind. with Gatorade's proven formula. And the right blend of electrolytes to help you on your journey to greatness.
Corrigan Sports Enterprises is a full-service sports marketing and event management company. Every detail from marketing, public relations, logistics, and cleanup, Corrigan Sports Enterprises handles events from conception to fruition. The premier lacrosse and recruiting tournaments and high-profile running events. Corrigan Sports Enterprises, bringing your dreams to life.
Welcome back to Riley's Oyster here on Pannonia Road. Booker, Corrigan, Ron Klausner. This is a fabulous preview show for the Duke Penn Long Island Metro Cup. We're glad you're with us. Really a great game. It's going to be brutal cold. The weather might play a factor. Let's talk about some stars. You talked a lot about Dyson Williams. He is a star in the making. Who are some of his helpers out there?
Well, if you look at just even their last game, you know, Sean Lawley, 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points. McAdory, I think, had 4 goals, 2 assists. So you have 2 guys that really have not been the names, so to speak, that step to the forefront. Well, you still have Robertson, you still have all the other guys that are on this team that put up a lot of points.
God, yes.
and that's the thing. You know, you have a team that's scoring on average a little bit over 17 goals a game. Penn's scoring 8 goals a game. Yes, the body of work is small, but you have an advantage when you have that many, what you would consider, again, skilled players as well as veteran players.
And not since the Hulkster went away from WWE to join the WWF. Have you seen a kid like Sean Lawley transfer to Penn, and now he's got to go? Transfer from Penn, to Duke. That's an amazing component and an underlying story.
Absolutely.
Penn, obviously, they have the big star in Handley. Who else do you like?
Well, you know, Cam Rubin is a kid that the other day, 2 goals, 1 assist, that played really, really well. I just, you know, again, crafty kid, got the opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net and did. Dylan Gagar, I actually thought was fantastic. One of the best players on the field against Georgetown. Scored from time and room, scored from dodging from the wing. He also scored from garbage in front with a behind the back.
Yep.
4 goals for him. He's going to be a mark that Duke's going to have to watch. They're going to try to beat Penn this weekend.
Safe to say for a fan that Penn only scored 8 goals against a Georgetown team led by defensively minded Kevin Warren, one of the great young coaches in the game. That's going to temper their offensive production a little bit. So they might be poised to put a couple more up.
Absolutely, and Georgetown has a lot of defensive weapons that can shut you down pretty well. You know, Bowen being the transfer from North Carolina just adds to their bounty of players that they have. But what I liked about Penn, when they really started to get their groove going, when they started to press Georgetown, was they were moving the ball, their feet were moving, they were cutting extremely well, and they got opportunities that way. So they're going to have to continue that if they want to compete with Duke.
And keep your eye out for Tyler Keel. He's getting a lot of time, former Under Armour All-American, and now starring at Penn. You know, starring might be a loose term. Let's talk about difference makers for today's game. BJ Farrar. What's not to like?
I loved him as a high school player, love him as a college kid.
Short stick, long stick.
He can do it all. He's got the speed, he's got the awareness, he's got the stick skills. Very, very talented player, and they're going to need him to create transition against Duke if they want to stay in this game.
Difference maker for Duke, and it's a shame to not see him higher up on that scoring list. Big Toe Joe Robertson.
I know he was injured, I do believe, in the game, mildly, against Delaware, I do believe, but he's ready to play. He's not going to be hurt, and he's a fantastic, crafty player. Again, someone that's had big goals for Duke over the years. Yeah. Doesn't get any better for him, especially in the I want to say the playoff game last year that they won. He's just a great player, and he fits well with Dyson. He fits well with Brennan. They all do different things. Yeah, very, very tough to cover.
And Joe likes himself a couple OT game winners too. Broke some Corrigan hearts along the way. When we return, we're going to talk about some of the other games this weekend. It's going to be fabulous. We'll be right back.
Fuel your grind with Gatorade's proven formula and the right blend of electrolytes to help you on your journey to greatness.
Corrigan Sports Enterprises is a full-service sports marketing and event management company. Every detail from marketing, public relations, logistics, and cleanup, Corrigan Sports Enterprises handles events from conception to fruition. The premier lacrosse and recruiting tournaments and high-profile running events. Corrigan Sports Enterprises, bringing your dreams to life.
Welcome back to Riley's. This is the Duke Penn preview show. Booker, Corrigan, Ron Klausner. We're going to get into some of the other games happening this weekend. First and foremost, Syracuse at Virginia. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Great offense against a defense that could possibly be even better every week as it goes on. Who do you like?
Well, I do believe it's going to be a good game. I was actually fortunate enough to go up to Syracuse and watch the Maryland-Syracuse game. I could see some things that Syracuse obviously needs to work on. Maryland's a fantastic team. Now they're going down to Virginia, and it's going to be running to sort of the same thing. They're going to run into a lot of offense. Can Syracuse play the defense? Can the goalie make the saves like he did last week to keep him in the game? That's the big difference, but I do believe Virginia will come out on top this weekend.
Notre Dame, Georgetown. Two teams that hang their hat on defense. It'll be interesting to see because those Kavanaughs slick. Can they get it done?
Again, another game that I believe that it's going to be a fantastic game.
You don't want to say Georgetown. You don't want us to go against the Corrigans.
No, I am going Georgetown in this game because I really believe that Georgetown, one, playing at home, two, I just think there's something about them this year that they really have an attitude like there's unfinished business. And if you watch the games that they played so far, and they played Penn very tough last week. They beat up Hopkins the week before. This is a good team. They're only getting better because some of the new pieces are starting to play and starting to gel. So though Notre Dame is extremely talented, the Kavanaugh boys will score their points. Yep. I do believe that Georgetown wins this one in a close game.
Well, I got to tell you, you're from Long Island. You understand these sorts of things.
Try to.
Never go against the food. I'm taking the Irish. And then the other game, UNC Hopkins, Blue Bloods, who are not exactly as blue-bloody as we thought they were. So what do you like there, and what's going to be the difference in that game?
Well, I think the difference really is Chris Gray. He's fantastic. He's a great floor leader. He basically distributes the ball well. He can shoot and dodge when he needs to. He's fantastic. Does Hopkins have someone who can disrupt him, take him out of his rhythm? Because if he's out of his rhythm, North Carolina will be out of his rhythm. So I think that's what you have to do. You're going to have to pressure him if you're going to want to have success. I've watched Hopkins play this year. They look good. They don't look, in my opinion, like Hopkins teams of years past, the elite ones. So right now, I personally believe in this one that UNC will come out on top, mainly the difference maker being Chris Gray.
And it's nice for you to say the Hopkins teams of years past because, in fact, they did go to the championship game 9 straight years between like 78 and 85.
85.
So, yeah. So they're certainly a qualified blue blood. It'll be interesting to see how that game evolves and how their seasons evolve. I'll be doing the game with my brother George Corrigan, who Ronnie guarded back in the day. Safe to say, Ron, that of all the attackmen you ever guarded, he's definitely one of them.
He's one of them, and one of the biggest talkers of all.
Chirp, chirp. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, well, wait, who's a bigger chirper, you or him?
Probably me. I don't like to take that. That's not a title I would like, but unfortunately, I'm telling the truth. So
nothing wrong with that. And of course, you guarded me at one point.
Absolutely.
How many points did you have in your college career?
2, only 2.
That's it?
Yeah, as a defender.
So
2.
I actually outscored you.
You did, yeah. By 3 points.
Although Pat Kavanaugh did outscore my entire career last weekend. In one game, he got 8 points. I had 7. Life's good.
Let's come out and support this game. MacArthur High School on Long Island, right where I grew up. Guys, I'm a Wantagh High School grad, so should be a fantastic game.
It will be interesting for sure. Thanks for joining in. He's Ron Klausner. I'm Booker Corrigan, reminding you, you only get one shot at today.